Hi, Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns. In wood turning, there's times when you want to plan out a very beautiful bowl and you search for the perfect piece of wood to make that bowl out of. And then there's other times when you grab a hunk of wood and you see what comes out of the wood. In this case, this was a piece of old apricot crotch, very, very dry, very, very cracked, and a good piece of the wood did not survive the turning. But still, this bowl is what it wanted to be. So let's turn this very unique apricot bowl. This apricot crotch wood was cut about 7 years ago, ripped in half and waxed. It has been knocking around my shop for that long. It is absolutely dry, but has severe cracks. I've closed my chuck jaws tight, but pressed the flat side of the apricot against the face of the jaws with pressure from the live center. The wood is so unbalanced that I cannot turn my lathe speed up very far at all. The tool rest is at an angle to the bottom of the wood. It is extremely important to spin the wood before turning on the lathe. I also have to maintain absolute focus on my tool as I present it to the wood. There is no way I could hog out the wood. Only gradual cuts can be presented. With the cracks in the wood, I have to keep my face out of the zone of danger. Bark flies off. More bark flies off. A big piece of wood at that big crack flies off. I decide to keep going. A brief trip to the other side to bring more balance. However, with that big chunk of wood gone, there will never be any balance. And there will never be a chance to ride the bevel. This apricot bowl is 1/3 air now. Finally, I get it close to a curve and cut a tenon. Whew! It is still hanging in there. With so much wood gone, I cannot sand with the lathe running, but I can still power sand with my air sander. The lathe is simply holding the bowl while I sand it over and over again. Absolutely no rotational action from the lathe. Now I've reversed the wood to hollow the inside. I'll keep the live center in place as long as possible. This wood is missing 1/3 of itself. Again, a lot of air to cut and no bevel to run. My best route is to hog out as much wood as I can, then take lighter cuts from the rim to the center. Actually, that missing wood helps me gauge the wall thickness since it is like a slice running through the bowl. Finally, I reduce the post under the live center to a minimum and break it away, then move the tailstock out of the way for the final cuts. Then back to sanding again with the air sander. Again, no power to the lathe. I have to stick to the air sander. There is no way I can reverse the bowl again to treat the foot. Instead, I'll dress the foot with my long neck angled grinder. I'm starting with the cutting tool and switch to a rasp tool. Clamps around the bowl provide support. And switch to a coarse flapper sander. And back to the air sander through all the grits. I'm sanding this bowl with a Dremel engraver. Finally, a bath in walnut oil gives it a nice sheen. Okay, my apricot crotch bowl is completed. At least as much of the bowl that survived is finished. It has another nasty crack that is barely holding together. I think it only held together because the crack runs through the tenon and the chuck held it together. What a unique little bowl. I love it. The apricot color is great, the figure is nice, and the shape is totally unique. It has a story to tell. Sometimes it turns out the way the wood wants. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe on my website, tell your friends, and send me your comments and questions. Every week I make a new wood turning video. please wear your full face shield. Definitely on this one. Until next week's video, this is Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns.